Up 28 points, late second quarter. You go on with the ball, go on to lose the game. How does this happen? What went wrong with the Celtics? Is this worth freaking out over? All these things I'm going to try to hit on in this video. We're going to do a Boston Celtics film session, in depth, what went wrong with this game. As a reminder, on Twitter, at ScoutWithBryan, you can find all my old content, ScoutWithBryan.com. Please follow, please thumb up, please subscribe if you like this. I spent 4 years traveling with the Washington Wizards full-time, in locker rooms, every single game, every single road trip. I know how NBA film sessions are. I'm going to try to give you an attempt of sort of what the Celtics watched after the game, presumably the next day in practice, whenever. You have a loss like that, there's a lot to digest, a lot of film to watch. We'd have some days we'd come in, we'd watch 10 minutes consecutive of the game, and it would take us an hour and a half. I'm going to try to get through the full game for you right here in a condensed version, basically focusing on what the Celtics could have done better. We're going to do it chronological order, start to finish, see what went wrong. Again, thumb up, subscribe. I appreciate it. All right, posted this clip on Twitter, but again, just the little things from the start of the game. You're up 8, you're in a good place early first quarter. You end up being up 28. Just think about how much more the lead could have been if you played every possession your hardest. Okay, you hear Stevens on this clip that I posted again on Twitter. He's yelling out, "Talk Morris, talk Morris." Why? Because Boston's switching screens 1 through 4. So when Gallinari sets this ball screen right here, it's a switch, which Morris does, but he doesn't talk. So that means that Tatum goes over the screen. He should go under if they're switching. And when he gets stuck over, that's what allows Gallinari to roll and end up getting fouled at the basket. Little things are the big things. In the NBA, we call this the most important guy. It's a common terminology that started a lot of teams to use, MIG, most important guy. So what that means is in the high pick and roll, when you have to be aggressive like this, like Tice does for Lou Williams, Jaylen Brown becomes the most important guy, meaning he's the low man. He's got to be in and be ready to help on the roll, and then Kyrie's got to be in between these two guys, ready to get out to the first pass. This is an example of doing it really well. So we're going to come back to this clip because there's a few examples of them not doing it well later in the game. But watch Tice do a great job stopping the ball. Jaylen Brown does a great job being outside the charge circle, being in. Harrell sees him, gives him time to get for Tice to get back to his man. Kyrie's perfect right in between. They have everything guarded, force a tough shot. All right, this one we're going to come back to also. Remember this. It works out here, but you're going to see why gambling in the backcourt, not a good idea, not something that coaches want, and for good reason, okay? Like I said, works out okay here. Terry lucks into a steal, get a 3 out of it, but we're going to show you a few examples later of why this doesn't work out. All right. Up 20, again, just think about how much you could have stretched this lead. They ended up 28 with 4 minutes left, okay? This game could have been a 40-point blowout. This was a Clippers team full of new bodies, guys that don't even know the plays, guys that haven't played with them all year, and they're shooting 32% to this point. You allow them to stick around and compete. These guys are NBA players for a reason. It's coach cliche. It's what a lot of people say, but it's the truth. The second you take your foot off the gas or underestimate your opponent or stop playing your hardest, basketball karma is a real thing. Breaks start to go against you. Calls start to go against you. All those things become very true. Okay, so just see how many examples when you hear Marcus Morris talk about how much harder they could have played post-game, the spirit they could have played with, the attitude, the toughness, all those things. These are the type of things I think he's talking about. Jaylen Brown, all right, he's a good defender. You're supposed to be a good defender. Lou Williams is not known as a great screener. He's not supposed to blow you up on a screen like this off Landry that Horford has to basically trap and stay with the ball. And then we have no awareness whatsoever by Rozier or Hayward, really. Nobody makes any effort to come and take away the layup. All right. After this, obviously, 18-point game. Next possession, Al comes down, misses an open 3. Harrell after that makes an open layup, make it a 16-point game, and Stevens has to call timeout. Again, the game is very much a game of runs, of shifts, of momentum. Things like that are killer in the end. Again, up 21, 9 minutes left in the second. They're icing a side pick and roll. Jaylen Brown, what are you doing? Remember we talked about most important guy? You are not on a side pick and roll, a side drag, supposed to be hugging your man over here. It doesn't matter that he's a shooter. You're supposed to be away and towards the ball with a foot in the paint. Same thing with Marcus Morris, same thing with Gordon Hayward, but definitely most importantly for Jaylen Brown. Nobody moves. That's the easiest roll dunk that Harrell's going to have all season. To Boston's credit, at least, you know what? They're accountable right here. You see Jaylen Brown saying, my bad. Marcus is like, what's going on? At least he's clapping at him. Come on, wake up. Got to be there. Up 25. How many layups are you going to give up? Good teams don't give up a ton of layups. This baseline out of bounds play, this is a fifth grade baseline out of bounds play. They call this moving, I think. A lot of teams call this moving. It's basically just literally running around in a circle. Just moving in a circle. It's a play you put in when you have guys that don't know the plays yet because they've been with the team for a day. They're just moving around. Temple comes open for a second. All right. Kyrie gets stuck on the screen. Smart jumps out. So how can you prevent this layup? Hayward can be towards the basket where he's supposed to be. Tatum can be doing his job, which is if you're guarding the inbounder, you can't allow passes to the basket. Taking that away better. He could be seeing the ball. Nobody's doing their job. Kyrie, I know he was a little hurt by this point. You can tell he's walking a little with a limp. But you know what? I watched him play on offense, still going full speed, throwing lob passes, getting to the basket, getting his shots off, even after he got banged up. Okay? No question he got injured. He's hurt. That's fine. But if you're going to sprint on offense, if you're going to play fully on that side, you better do it on defense too. That's not going 100% on defense to get back. You're pointing, and then so when they run the pick and roll, who's supposed to be in? The guy on the weak side to take away the lob. Doesn't do it, another layup. Just think again, this is all in the second quarter. How many opportunities do they have to make this a 30, 35, 40-point game? To really throw the knockout punch. That would have made this not even close to a close game at the end. We know they can do it. We know they can defend. Look at Rozier here. Great switch back. Great help by Tatum. Great flying around. Great contest. Perfectly capable of doing it. Watch Terry again here. We said we'd come back to this, right? You don't jam and go for these outlet passes in transition. Not a good idea. If you want to know why, we're going to show you why the breakdowns it leads to later. But if you want to see how coaches like it, look at Brad Stevens here. There's nothing else he's complaining about. Watch his reaction to Terry Rozier going for this steal. What are we doing? You see that? Watch him closely. Twice, right here. Come on. Why? Because you know what that creates then? Terry's a little late getting back to his spot, getting all the way back to guard the ball. And if you're going to ice a side pick and roll, it's always on the big's call. Okay, you got Hayward who's not used to guarding a big, having to guard Zubac in this game. Fine. You react to the big calling it. So Hayward didn't call anything yet, which means Rozier's not supposed to be in an ice until Hayward calls it. Rozier decides on his own to ice it. Okay, so maybe, yeah, if there was a regular big man in the game, he would have called ice, and you would have been right, but Hayward didn't call it. So that means your job is to be squared up and guard your man one-on-one. It's not to lazily jump to an ice before you hear anything and then point as Lou breaks you down and gets all the way to the basket. Bad body language, that's your fault. That started by the gamble in the backcourt for no reason. Getting back lazy. Pointing and jumping to an ice for no reason. Come on, got to do better. Start the second half. We're still in a pretty good spot. Up 21. Marcus Morris, right? You talk one of the biggest talkers, or obviously the biggest talker post-game about attitude and toughness, identity. Losing your man right off a pin down, that's not much of a chase. Getting back to guard him, that's not much of a defensive stance. Switched on to Beverly. Yeah, it's hard for a big man to guard a smaller guy, but you might want to take away that easy right-hand drive for Patrick Beverly. That's too easy. I know he misses the layup. Still too easy. Living dangerously. This is what I talk about when I'm saying this kind of karma, basketball karma, doesn't get rewarded. Same thing. Marcus Morris, if you're going to talk, if you're going to be the leader and call out guys post-game, you better be doing it perfectly yourself. We see this dribble handoff going towards Gallo. You're supposed to be up and physical and bodying him and beat into the ball. He's relaxed. He's lazy. He's off him. Dribble handoff. Now he's a step behind. Now Horford has to step up and help. Now the roll is behind. Not much resistance. He just misses the layup. This is an okay shot. We talk about good to great passes, right? Rozier's wide open in the corner. Good to great passes, passing that ball to the corner. Okay, misses a shot, that's all right. I can live with a missed shot. What I can't live with is Tatum or other smalls or even bigs who are outside the three when the shot goes up, not sprinting back. Watch them watch it. Watch Gallo get behind. Watch Gallo get a layup. Morris is the help guy in a pick and roll. Fine. Is this an NBA closeout? That doesn't look like it to me. That's not short, choppy steps. That's not being in a stance. That's way too upright. That's not good enough. That's an easy runner for Patrick Beverly. Again, look at the lead they still had. Look at how many plays and how many chances they had to run them off the court. We talked about the gambles. Watch Terry. Coaches don't want their players doing this. For the 1 time out of 100 or 2 times out of 100 it works out. The other 98 it'll burn you. Crashes for an offensive rebound from outside. Guards aren't supposed to do. Gambles for the steal. Now he's out of the play. Now they got a 5-on-4. So what happens? You give up a layup? Looks like Marcus Smart's pointing. All right, he's telling Al to go there. Marcus is going to take the big man. Okay, he sees that Gallo's open, so he's got to get out and get Gallo. So you know what? Garrett Temple's an okay shooter over here, but Tatum's 2 passes away. He should be in the paint now, ready to take away this layup. Marcus Morris sees it. Instead of pointing, he should be there too. Game rewards hustle, game rewards energy. Shot goes up, long shots, long rebounds. Terry Rozier's guarding Patrick Beverly. No box out. Cuts it to 13 with 6 minutes left in the third. Got to work on their closeouts. I mean, if this is a regular closeout, this is why you do these drills every day. Rozier, come on. Again, this is Garrett Temple. This is not a superstar. I love Garrett Temple. But he should not be able to blow by you like this on a slow-moving swing pass where you're right there. You should be down in a stance, short, choppy steps, able to cut off that drive. And then if help has to come in, which it does, fine. Marcus Smart's got the first pass, and then Tice or Hayward's got to be ready to sprint to the corner right away. Both of them are slow reacting. Corner 3. We'll see a few of those down the stretch. Morris takes a lot of shots like this. All right, that's his game. Fine. How? How does that happen? Let's watch Marcus Smart. right here. Pointing again. All right, so that pointing to me tells me I'm taking Zubac right here. That's my guy now. Tice has the ball. Morris has Gallo. Everybody's matched up okay. That's Smart's guy. That's who he's guarding. That's who he's looking at behind. Tice is pointing, telling him to go there. Tice has got to guard Beverly because he's over here. I don't know who Smart's pointing to. Hayward's already guarding a guy. Right to the basket. Too easy. And they're going to yell at each other after the play. At least they dap each other up. Looks like Smart knew he messed up. Okay, but you can't have it. Those are losing plays. Then you got to play with discipline offensively too. It's not just on defense. Right? You can't pass up open shots. The ball finds you in an open spot like this. You got to shoot this ball. Okay, second, you got to be in the right spots. Ball movement, you see baseline drive means baseline drift. Okay? Jaylen Brown's going to attack baseline here. So that means he needs a guy in the corner. Marcus Morris has to drift to the corner. Because if he doesn't do that, what that means is this guy right now can guard both these two. They're standing right next to each other. If Marcus Morris gets in the corner, that means he has to take him, and then Rozier or Morris will have an open three. One of them will have an open three since he's guarding two. Right? You have to fix your spacing. You definitely can't have two guys standing together right here. Got to play the right way. Another missed shot. Up 9 with 3 minutes left. They got lucky a couple times. The Clippers stepped on this line down the stretch. That could have been another corner three for them. Not going to do a ton of shot selection stuff in this video. Only hit on a couple of those. But you got Harrell. You got a big man on you. You got 15 on the shot clock. This can't be the shot you get. A contested step back like that. Look at Tice even in the corners. Like, what are you doing? That's not good team basketball. And then again, it leads to this at the other end. You take this contested shot, the leak out gets behind you. Everybody else is lackadaisical running back. Free throws. Up 7, 9:30 left in the fourth. Still in pretty good shape. Talked about most important guy before. Who is it here? Marcus Morris. Okay? What did we see earlier? We saw Jaylen Brown outside the charge circle, ready to meet the ball early. What does Morris do here? He's not outside the charge circle. He's late getting over. He's not vertical. And he fouls him. If you want to do it the right way, you got to do it the right way every time. That's not the right way. That's not good enough. Leads to an N1. The game they could have put away 15 times now. It's unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. Again, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want to win this game? Marcus Morris, right now you're even with JaMychal Green. You're the big man on the court. Al has to be ready to stop the ball because Hayward's still behind it. Al, you're not going to leave the basketball in transition. He's got to take the shooter here, so Al has the basketball. So Marcus Morris, while you're running even with JaMychal Green, why do you slow up? Why do you just decide to push him and stop right there? There's no good reason for that. And then, again, who are you yapping at? Why? That's your fault. Again, I tell people when they're watching the games, you can learn a lot by watching a coach's reaction to things. Okay? This is an ice. Fine. They're supposed to be icing this. So what is an ice? Ice is force the ball baseline, no matter what. Okay? Harrell slips out early. Okay? So that means Al has to go. But when you're icing still, your responsibility as a guard, do not let the ball get middle. So how in the world, Marcus Smart right here, are you going to get beat middle and then flip or spin around to guard the ball again. I don't know what that defense is. It's not coached. It's not how anybody plays defense. It's not good enough. Leads to him whirling into him. Lou gets lucky in making this shot. But you know what? Like I said, karma, hell of a player, great touch, and watch Stevens. What is Marcus Smart doing? Not good enough. All right, Tatum was on Landry the play before. Okay, Morris takes another tough shot. Again, shot goes up, sprint back, sprint back, sprint back. Standing around, not good enough. Okay, to me, when this ball is being dribbled at you slowly in transition, if this is my man, I think that's enough time to get back and guard him. Okay, if you're sprinting back. Tatum's not sprinting back, though. He's jogging back. So by that point, guys aren't communicating. Landry's wide open in the corner. Marcus Morris, I don't know who he's guarding exactly. They're not talking it out. Leads to another corner three for the guy that killed him. These are not, again, plays you just can't live with. $112 points is enough to win a basketball game. I mean, this, again, these are shots they missed, too. A lot of them, they had a chance to make it much worse. Okay, they're switching 1 through 4, so Tatum's on Lou now. Tice just happens to kind of be in the way because he's guarding a non-shooter, which is smart. But then, if I'm Tatum, I'm still going underneath Tice and guarding Lou Williams. For some reason, he thinks this is like a switch, which I guess maybe you could think, and maybe Tice kind of screened him a little bit. But to give Lou Williams a wide open left elbow jumper, which is his money spot basically, to have an uncontested shot by Lou Williams with 4 minutes left in a tie game, and he missed it. And then, to top it all off, who's guarding Patrick Beverley in the corner? Jaylen Brown. We know Beverley's a guy that likes to sneak to the offensive glass. He does it a lot, and he's good at it. No vision of him, no box out. Gets the offensive rebound. They step out of bounds in the corner again. How much worse could it have been? We talked about offensive discipline as well. Both sides. All right? They run a high pick and roll with Tatum. Lou Williams switches onto him. He's got a mismatch. Okay? Roll him down to the post right away. Jaylen Brown, come up to right here to make this pass, to dump it down to Tatum. Watch what Boston does. Did you see how slow that was? Jaylen Brown doesn't even recognize. Okay, doesn't move up. Tatum's walking him down to the post like he has an hour and a half to figure this mismatch out. You don't. Allow Zubac to come over and switch it. For some reason, he's still posting him up. Not smart. I'm going to throw it back up top. Tice, who doesn't have post game, is now going to try to post up Lou Williams, and that's an offensive foul. Come on. You had the matchup you wanted. Come up. Fill up high. Post up the small. Don't take your hands off him. Don't let them switch it this easily. That's not being locked in. This is, all right? Again, I'm giving them credit where credit's due. Here's a couple examples of them doing it the right way. We know they can play hard. We know they're one of the best teams in the East when motivated. Lou Williams comes off. They were having a lot of trouble with these stagger-type screens. Al has to trap him, all right? Good read. So Al switches. Terry takes Al's man. Everybody's guarded. Fights him in the post. Fronts him. Tatum does a great job recognizing. Comes over to help on the pass over the top. So he kicks Rozier out. Great switch. You see Marcus Smart pointing, telling him where to go. You see Zubac still working the smaller guy in the post. So you see these guys recognize, come over, trying to help. Great timing by Marcus Smart. Great block. Again, what did I talk about? For the 1 or 2 times it works, gambling in the backcourt, show you 50 times it doesn't. All right, Marcus is in there going for the offensive rebound. That's all right. He does that sometimes with Jaylen Brown. Jamming the ball up high like this, never a good idea. Now you're behind it. Now we don't have enough guys back. Now the hottest shooter in the game right now gets another and 1 from 3. I know Marcus Smart's shooting the ball well from 3 this year. All right, I can live with this shot, but is it the best shot we can get as a team? I'm not sure. With 2 minutes left, down 2, I think you can get a better shot than Marcus Smart dribbling into a contested 3, even though the defender's off him. I think you can run a play, run some good offense. But okay, takes a shot. Now, how do we make up for it? Most important guy right now, again, right? Marcus Smart. He's the low man in the pick and roll. So what's the job again? Be early, be outside the charge circle, but don't flop. Don't flop with 2 minutes left in a 2-point game. Refs, I don't even care if the 2-minute report will come out and call this a charge. Refs don't call this with 2 minutes left, okay? Harrell's turned sideways. He's already let go of the ball. The contact is not nearly as much as Marcus Smart plays it off to be from that big fella. All right. It's a flop. Leads your team in a bad way. They make the extra pass. Get another corner 3 right in front of their bench. Don't flop with 2 minutes left. Not a good time for it. Who's the most important guy now? Hayward. All right, he's over early. That's fine. But now, what we see earlier, what Jaylen Brown did so well, right? You're in. You stop it for a second so Al can get back. You're not worried about if Harrell decides to rise up right now. That's not his shot. He's not a great shooter from anywhere except the rim. Okay? So you stop the ball. You let Al get back to him. You better get the heck out quick. And then what we see early in the game? Kyrie was this guy in the middle right here, right? He stayed right in the middle. He takes the first pass out. Because if you just jump to one side like this, somebody's wide open. So how do we fix this again? Hayward gets out right away. Tatum stays in the middle so that Tatum can take the first pass once it's actually made. So Tatum would go to the corner, and then Hayward would get Landry up top. Neither of these guys did their job. Another corner 3. Again, you see how many chances they had to put this game away, how many mistakes they made, how many effort plays they could have done better. Think about all those things, and then think about, again, the position they're in as a team. Plenty of time left in the season, plenty of time to fix it. Just got to have the right attitude, the right mentality. If you liked it, again, please thumb up. Please hit subscribe. I would really, really appreciate it. Please make sure you're following at ScoutWithBryan on Twitter. You can find all my older stuff at ScoutWithBryan.com. Thank you very much for watching.